Okay, welcome. Hi, thanks for being here. Happy Earth Day and happy Taurus New Moon. Taurus New Moon is like the perfect new moon for Earth Day. I mean, how like great. You just can't make this stuff up, right? It's so great. And thanks for being here, whether you're here live right now or you're listening later. In case you don't know me, I'm Sheridan Semple, and I'm a shamanic astrologer and a medicinal aromatherapist. So I love bringing my two loves together in this class and doing this ritual new moon class together. And so here's how class will go. We're going to learn a little bit about the new moon. We're going to learn about Taurus, and then we'll learn about two essential oils that I think are really perfect for the whole Taurus energy, Rose and Ylang Ylang, two super yummy essential oils. And then we'll finish with our new moon intention setting ceremony. So as we're getting started, if you want, you might want to have a piece of paper and a pen or pencil, and you might want to have like a stone or a crystal or a plant, something earth-based, because the ritual we're going to do is for Taurus, which is an earth sign, and it's Earth Day. So we're going to do an earth-based ritual for this new moon. And then if you have Rose or Ylang Ylang, that's great. We'll incorporate those. If not, if you have some other essential oils or other kind of plant medicine things that you like, feel free to incorporate that into the class as well. And then we'll end, and I'll talk just a little bit about kind of what's going on generally astrologically. And then for any of you here live, we'll stay after and do Q&A, you know, anything, questions you have about astrology, aromatherapy, personal, general, whatever. Okay, so let's get started. So first thing, let's just kind of drop in and create that sacred space for us together in the class. And if you have some essential oils, let's go ahead and anoint ourselves now. And if you don't, that's just fine too. Just kind of start tuning into feeling your body and feeling the earth, and just connecting into the earth energies. So I'm using a little Ylang Ylang here, which we'll learn about, but is this like yummy, heart-opening, perfect Taurus scent. And I have some rose here as well as a little rose hydrolat. So rose is an expensive essential oil, so it's nice sometimes to have the hydrolat, which is the water. So you can get that rose vibe, but it's much less expensive. And then just kind of start to feel into your heart. Let's just start there. The heart is, all of the signs are connected to the heart, but Taurus especially. So start feeling your heart. You may be able to feel into your heartbeat. You may be able to just feel your breath filling up your lungs around your heart. And you may be able to tune into the chakra or the energy of your heart and how you start to connect with everyone and receive information from the world through your heart. So just letting that awareness increase in your heart. Maybe as you breathe in, it expands like a bellows, and as you exhale, it contracts, just like the heartbeat. And then let your energy start dropping down in your body, down your spine, down your torso, down through your seat. Just feel your seat on the chair or the floor, wherever you're sitting. And then just feel down through the chair, through the floor, to the earth below, somewhere. You may have to go through an apartment, down through the foundation, but somewhere the earth is there underneath you. And you can feel the magnetic force of the earth pulling you down into her on this Earth Day, on this Taurus New Moon Day. Just feel yourself settling into your body. That is the domain of Taurus. The earth signs, all about sensation and feeling and the senses of smell and touch and sight and taste. That's the domain of Taurus. So just feel your body. You may even take your hands and just touch your legs or touch your arms. Just become really present in your body, your tummy, your chest. And Taurus likes to do what feels good in the body, what feels pleasurable, feels good to the senses, tastes good, smells good, feels good. Taurus is all about the pleasure of being in the body. So just feel into your heart and your body and what feels good in your body right now. It's nice to get out of our heads with everything that's been going on. We can just leave that behind and just relish in the parts of what feels good in our body. Maybe not everything does, but maybe some parts, some pieces just feels good right now sitting here in this moment. Taurus is all about being present in the moment. And then keeping some of your awareness in your body, just connect to the new moon in the sky, which is with the sun. So wherever the sun is right now outside, you know the new moon is right there with the sun. So you feel your body, feel the earth, but you also feel the energy of the new moon traveling with the sun, both in Taurus. So lots of Taurus energy today on Earth Day. Maybe begin formulating, thinking about what you might like to set your intention on today with this energy of the new moon that supports in setting an intention. It's the beginning of the monthly moon cycle. It's the start. The seed gets planted into the earth. And just take a few breaths and feel what might be one intention you would like to set in our ritual today. And then when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And we'll start to look at, I'll share my screen and we'll look at my slides. Okay. All right, so this first slide is the new moon. So today the new moon is precisely at 8:25 excuse me, Mountain Time this evening. And so this is a astrological chart of the exact time of the new moon today. And I just wanted to show it because it shows where the moon and the sun is this little bullseye character are right together in Taurus, which is the little bull icon right there at 3 degrees Taurus, right? So that's when the new moon is the moment that the sun and the moon are conjunct. And you can see Uranus is this other little character is right there with them. So traveling in the sky, wherever you can see the sun, Uranus is there right now as well. You can't see it, but it's the moon, whatever is it's around and hitting, it's like illuminating and lighting up that energy. So the Taurus energy, the sun energy, and then Uranus as well, which is very it's an energy that's like not so of the earth. It's considered like a celestial more type of planet, meaning that it's more in the kind of like cosmic realm. It can bring sort of like a uniqueness or an unusualness or an unpredictability to what's going on right now. So there's kind of it's kind of lighting up like a uniqueness, which is obviously definitely, you know, what we're experiencing for sure in the world is real, right? Unprecedented is like the name of the game right now, where everything's just so different and unusual. Okay, so I just have to figure out, sometimes it won't let me change my slide there. Okay, here we go. Okay, so some of you know that have been coming to class for a while, but I always like to point out what is the new moon, right? So here we are in the earth, right? There's the moon and then the sun. So the sun is shining on the moon all the time. Just when it's in the new moon, the moon is between us and the sun. It's when they're right traveling together. So the light is on the backside. So that's why we can't see it. It's the new moon. So I just like to kind of, you know, have that awareness, because shamanic astrology is all about knowing about astrology, but also knowing what's going on in the sky, like where Venus will be tonight. The new moon is traveling with the sun, that Uranus is there, that type of thing. So, okay, so Taurus, yummy, luscious Taurus. Okay, so Taurus is an earth sign, which we were talking about. And in shamanic astrology, we say that's an involution sign. So earth and water signs are involution, meaning they're bringing spirit into matter, into the body for a certain reason, right? They have a certain intention with that. And Taurus, that intention we talked about in the meditation a little bit, is to feel the pleasure of like all the senses, right? It's about like feeling good and what feels good in the body and intimacy in that. It's also, we classify it as a self-interest or self-exploration sign, meaning that it's in an earth, it's an earth sign. So that means it's really about like exploring earth to the most extreme, right? Just for the exploration of like feeling and being in the body and the yumminess of that, right? That's what self-exploration signs mean. And it's left brain because it's earth, meaning it's a little bit more like linear, where water would be more right brain and more of like circular type of thinking, but it's a feminine sign, earth sign. It's feminine, it has a feminine energy. So not female gender, but feminine energy, like yin, of yin and yang. It's also, we're coming up on Beltane, which is the Celtic kind of May Day celebration, which is the May cross quarter. So we're coming up on the time that's halfway between the equinox and moving towards the solstice. And that's what Beltane is. And Beltane, I wrote a little bit of notes about it, which I just have to find here. Beltane is, it's called the Fires of Bel, and Bel is the Celtic sun god, the deity of light and health and healing. So it's a fire festival that celebrates the coming of summer and the fertility of the coming year, which is totally Taurus again. So it's like life is bursting with that potent fertility, the sexuality of the earth and life. It's at its peak, right? This is just like Taurus, Taurus, Taurus. Okay. So, and we can feel it in our bodies, and we're in the northern hemisphere, right? It's turning to spring. We want to like wear less clothes and feel the sun on our bodies and be like outside, and it just feels good in the body, right? It's that kind of time, and like fruit, you know, more food is coming online, and we might be able to start gardening and that type of thing. So Taurus is all about exploring the aliveness and the pleasure in the body. It's about deep intimacy and trust. So Taurus is like one of the signs that can be the most intimate, right? I do mean sexually, but also just like connecting and feeling and being close to, right? And trust. It's a very it's a safe sign to be in that intimacy and trust with. And of course, we're talking about all the like best qualities, the idealistic, the essence of Taurus, not necessarily the shadows. So it doesn't mean like every Taurus person in the world is totally trustworthy, right? So Taurus is all about being present in the moment, right? The deliciousness of the present moment and savoring the present moment, right? Which I think is nice on this Earth Day and in this Taurus new moon, because there's just been so much kind of like fear and stress, and we're at home. And so some people are feeling really good at being at home. Some people are feeling stressed about kind of not being able to be around everyone else. But Taurus is like helps us to kind of like settle and be okay with where we're at and be in that present moment and savor the present moment. Taurus is considered the Epicurean. So Epicureans are, we tend to think of it as being like food-based or wine-based, but it's really about seeking the highest quality of pleasure through intensity, right? The most intense duration for the longest amount of time as possible, and purity, right? So maximum pleasure, minimum pain. So Taurus is the sign that's like, if having a couple glasses of wine makes you feel like good and yummy, but having 4 glasses of wine gives you a headache and doesn't make you feel good, Taurus would like never have the 4 glasses, right? Because it's not an Epicurean type of experience. They've gone too far. It's not right anymore, right? That would be more like Scorpio that wants to go to the edge of like, yeah, I would have, if 2 glasses makes me feel good, what does 4 do, right? So Taurus is all about like just what feels good. Explores what is beautiful, pleasing, artistic. Aesthetics is an art form. So Taurus is all about like the aesthetics, how things look, what feels right. Is it pleasurable? Is it pleasing, right? How does the plate look? How does the restaurant look? All of that. Ecstasy, sacred pleasure as an art form. Taurus is all about that. Intimacy as an art form, experiencing beauty in the body for personal pleasure, receiving. Taurus is the only sign that's really all about receiving. It's about being, not doing, right? We tend to gravitate towards Taurus, like we tend to gravitate towards the earth, then the earth comes to us, or Taurus comes to us. Tantra, like the full meaning of Tantra, yes, the sexuality components of it, but also Tantra is really about like mastering life force energy, cultivating energy in the body. Taurus is really into that. Scorpio is really into that as well, but for a different reason. Those are opposite signs from each other, so they have a lot in common. A great way to think of Taurus is it's like the Garden of Eden before the fall, right? All the fruit and everything's luscious and they're just like loving and naked and yummy, and it's just all like happy, 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 right? That's Taurus. So Taurus asks the question, what is the nature of pleasure, beauty, intimacy, and receivership as the path to God or spirit or the universe, whatever kind of verbiage you like to use? And its spiritual path is to celebrate the fullness and the pleasure of spirit in the senses. And those 2 quotes are from Daniel Giamario, who is the founder of Shamanic Astrology. Okay, so then let's go into the essential oils. So first off, essential oils, like why even, incorporate essential oils into all of this? And the reason is because aromatherapy, it really connects us to the earth. A spiritual grade essential oil is like a bridge to the earth, to the plants, to our indigenous roots, right? And so I love this quote from Cynthia J. Oliveira from her book, The Book of Anointing, that talks about The essences are capable of recalibrating matter, mind, and spirit in an enchanted way. The truth of our divine nature is always present on a cellular level, and the essences assist us in this recognition by catalyzing and integrating this untapped source of power. When we use the oils with intention, they have a power to recharge our own higher wavelengths of light. Anointing steps us into our prayer. It assists in bringing our wishes into reality. Anointing awakens the cells that live within, allowing us to traverse not only our earth plane, but also the multidimensional realities that are part of our world. So it just connects us into the earth, and plant medicine, plant spirit medicine, just like shamanic astrology is all about connecting us into the sky and what's going on. So I love marrying these two because it's like the earth and the sky. So Rosa Damascena, right? We all know rose. It's like this amazing plant. Everybody loves rose, and it's this small deciduous shrub, which many of you are familiar with the plant. Deciduous meaning it loses its leaves in the winter. It can grow up to like 7 feet tall, but it can be much smaller as well. And Rosa Damascena is a hybrid. So it's like, they think it comes from Central Asia, and like 2 different roses got together in the wild. It's not something that's like genetically modified, just a hybrid naturally, and made Rosa Damascena. The one I have is grown biodegradably. It's grown biodynamically, in Bulgaria. And it's really rare to get a steam distilled rose. They're mostly made from an absolute, which is a cheaper way to make things that is that can involve a little bit of like a chemical process, sometimes natural, sometimes like toxic chemical processes. So to steam distill a rose, it takes 22 pounds of rose petals to make this like little 5 ml bottle of rose essential oil. So that's why it's one of those like super crazy expensive ones. So let's learn about rose and what it can do for us. So the spiritual and emotional uses quickly links us to love instead of fear. That's like, rose is all about love, love, love. Love, trust, self-acceptance. 1 drop over the heart is said to balance all of the chakras. It's a heart opener, spiritual, physically, emotionally. It's all about like divine love. So we like to say, what would love do now, right? That's what rose helps get you into that state of mind, right? So this is all so Taurus, 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 right? Plus it smells divine, which is very Taurus related as well. It's about wholeheartedness. Since ancient times, rose has been the symbol of the soul. It's one of the highest frequencies of all the essential oils, like 320 megahertz. So it's said to be good for everything you could possibly encounter. It's totally uplifting. It's euphoric. It restores yin energy, that feminine energy of Taurus, and calms the mind. And it's an antidote for tension, irritability, anxiety, depression, feelings of isolation, right? Which a lot of people are having right now, and unlovability. And then rose, the physical uses are, it's an extreme immune support. So again, very apropos for what's going on right now in the world. Aids any dis-ease known to humans, right? It's because of that high frequency, rose is said to be good for everything. It's a heart harmonizer, so physical, emotional, spiritual again. It's an aphrodisiac, very Taurian. Erectile dysfunction, skin, like scars, wrinkles, the hydrolat you can use for that too, which is just the water from when they make an essential oil. Urinary tract infections, it's one of the ones known for that. It clears heat and inflammation in the body. It's a uterine tonic. It's good for menstruation type issues and insomnia. And now Ylang Ylang, which is Canega odorata. is from the Kananga tree, which is this tropical evergreen tree that's native to Southeast Asia. It can grow up to like 65 feet tall, so it can be this like big tall tree, and these flowers turn from green to yellow as they mature. So you can kind of see in this picture in the back that flower's a little bit more green and it turns more yellow as it's maturing, and that's what the essential oil is made from. So it's like, look, it's like this amazing, beautiful tropical tree with these big flowers on it. And the one that I have comes from Madagascar. So here's another picture. The flowers can look really different on the tree, but the spiritual and emotional uses for Ylang Ylang are, it brings forth feelings of love and compassion, heart-based sensuality, heart love, helps you stay with the process of emotional healing, opens up your feelings, right? That's huge, right? So sometimes it's like we know we need to work on healing, emotional healing, but Ylang Ylang helps you be able to stay with that process, which is really a gift. And it's just like, it's just so heart opening, right? It's just Taurus, Taurus, Taurus. It's peace and calming, promotes peace. It's very calming. It uplifts mood and is euphoric like rose. It's just this beautiful scent. I mean, pretty much everyone's always like, oh, Ylang Ylang, yum, yum, yum. It strengthens the heart spiritually, emotionally. It's an antidepressant. It helps with anger issues, and it helps with growth and deepening of relationships, right? So that's another way it really supports that Taurus type of energy. And then the physical uses, and here it is, look, you can see some of the tree right here with these like beautiful blossoms coming off of it. It promotes peace-filled rest, so it's good for insomnia. It strengthens and repairs the central nervous system, which is like the brain and the spinal cord. It strengthens the heart, right? So heart, 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 we're hearing a lot with Rose and Ylang Ylang, which are big Taurus type energies. Calms the heart and the central nervous system. It's good for infections of like the intestinal tract, the genitals, the urinary system. So we see that with both of these essences. It's a breast toner. It's good for the prostate. It's also an aphrodisiac and specifically stimulates sex drive and stimulates the scalp for hair loss. So there's some other essences like cedar woods and lavenders that do that as well, but Ylang Ylangl's another one you can use for that too. Okay, so now let's move into our ritual. So just as we start, again, I just want you to think about like one intention, one seed you want to plant with this moon cycle. We don't need to come up with like every intention of everything you ever want to like do or accomplish in your life, right? Just pick one thing you can focus on for this 1 month, this moon cycle, right? One thing that you would like to see. Of course, if you want to do 2 or 3, you're welcome to, but I just want to encourage you to have it be something that's like a manageable bite for you over the next month. And here's my prayer to the new moon. Under this new moon, I am grateful for a new beginning. I invite my soul, my guides, and spirit to guide me in setting my intention for this moon cycle. Honoring my ancestors and my indigenous roots, I connect consciously to the new moon with my light, my heart, and love. May I be in alignment with spirit in setting an intention that supports the evolution of myself and my soul. I hold this knowing in my heart and trust that I will get there. I am one with the moon and spirit, and so it is. So let's take a few moments and write down, settle into, you may be just needing to get clear on your intention, but I'll just take a few minutes in silence and you can settle in your intention and then write it down if you feel like it. And then we'll do our ritual. Does everyone have their intention? If you need another minute, just raise your hand and we'll wait. Okay. So then next, let's grab our stone or crystal or your plant, whatever you want to be using. And then you're all muted, so none of us can hear you. I would like or invite you to speak your intention to the stone, to the crystal, to the plant, and just see that as the bridge, right? Like the essences of connecting that intention down into the earth to come to fruition over this month. And if you like, you can also bury your piece of paper, like you can put it underneath the stone, you can bury it in a plant, the plant, whatever you would like. So we'll just take a few minutes here, or you can in your mind's eye, however suits you. But we're anchoring it into the earth through this new moon that's in this earth sign of Taurus. And then just feel your intention moving through that stone or plant or just through your body. Imagine it like a seed you're planting into the earth that can grow roots and connect into the earth and be nourished by the sun, with the new moon, to grow over this month and come to fruition. And so it is. And then as we finish, I'm going to share my screen once more. And we'll look at the astrology of what's going on outside of like the new moon right now. So here's that chart again, right? So here's the moon and the sun and Uranus all traveling together tonight, throughout today. And then down here, this is like the big name of the game through this whole year is Pluto, Pluto, Jupiter, and Saturn all traveling together and close. So when planets are close together, we say it's a conjunction, and that means that's like the theme, that's our intent. So that's how shamanic astrology looks at things. We don't think that like Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter traveling together is doing anything to us. It just reflects, it's an outward reflection, a mirror reflection of what our collective intent is at this time. And so that's going to be going on. It kind of all started to come together at the beginning of this year, and they're going to be traveling together through the rest of this year. And that's really about Saturn is all about like the structures of things in the world, like the real world of like what's working and what's not working and what needs change to create like sustainability for us going forward, right? So it's like this time that's very reflective right now of what's going on, right? What's working, what's not working. You know, we're staying at home, we're seeing a lot of like benefits to the earth with that type of thing. But then having Pluto there, Pluto, it brings this like underworld kind of shadowy element, meaning that it's going to help us attain those Saturn intentional goals through like a fear and powerlessness and like an intensity. But the intention is to empower us, right? So traditionally, it's not interesting. It's not unheard of that when Saturn and Pluto come together, there have been other pandemics in the past, which I think is fascinating. And then with Jupiter being there, Jupiter just really expands whatever the energy it is. So it's kind of like adding steroids to the mix, right? It's like making it much more intense, right? What's working, what's not working? What do we need to do to take care of ourselves? What do we need to do to help our species be sustainable for the generations to come, right? And mostly because of Pluto, we're going to have to walk through some fear and powerlessness and intensity around that, kind of looking at our shadow aspects to gain that full empowerment that helps us do what is best for all of us, right? So I just wanted to share that that's going to be kind of like the name of the game throughout the rest of this year. As we move more and more through the cycle, hopefully we come more and more through to the empowerment part, right? It starts off more super fearful, but then we find what's working and not working and start to create new structures and things like that. So, so that's it. So, thanks for being here. The next class is going to be on the Gemini new moon, which is like super playful, a trickster, like fun, air sign. It'll be on Friday, May 22nd at 4 p.m. Mountain Time, same thing. And the essential oils we'll learn about are Douglas fir, which is not even really a fir, so I think it's perfect for Gemini, and then juniper. That's it. I'm going to end the recording. Thanks for being here.